Greetings, people of Earth! My name is Alan. I understand this is a slightly disappointing name for an alien. The original has 17 syllables, 3 throat clicks, and 1 sound your species has not yet evolved the cartilage to pronounce. So, Alan will do. I have been observing you for some time now, from a safe distance. I keep the distance on purpose because I have seen what your species does to things it does not understand, and I would prefer to remain a correspondent rather than a specimen. From up here, your planet looks like a place that has solved itself. A blue sphere, white clouds, quiet, and then I came closer. And that is when things became confusing, because I had expected, after all this watching, to file a simple report. A clever species doing clever things, occasionally tripping over itself. Instead, I found a pattern. The same 5 errors repeated by nearly every human I have ever observed. Across every country, in every century, I have been paying attention. I want to show them to you, not to scold you. I am not built for scolding. I am built for noticing, and I have noticed these 5 things so many times that I can no longer keep them to myself. I will warn you now. The 5th one is the one that made me stop taking notes for a while. We will get to it. Here is the first. You spend enormous amounts of your short life rehearsing conversations that never happen. I have watched you do this. In the shower, in traffic, lying in the dark at an hour when sensible creatures are asleep. You construct an argument with a person who is not in the room. You give them their lines. You give yourself better lines. You win. And then morning comes, and you never have the conversation because the other human was never going to say the thing you spent all night defeating. You have fought and won a war that existed entirely inside your own head. Remarkable. My first theory was that you simply enjoy winning. I have revised it. I now suspect you rehearsed the conversation because the rehearsal feels like control, and control feels like safety, and you would rather feel safe against an imaginary opponent than feel uncertain in front of a real one. I have added this to the file. Here is the second. You treat your own attention as though it were free and infinite and worth nothing. You have in your pocket a small glowing rectangle. It is a remarkable object. It can summon almost any fact your species has ever recorded, and I have watched what you do with this miracle. You use it to look at a photograph of a stranger's breakfast, then a video of an animal falling off a sofa, then an argument between 2 people you will never meet about a topic neither of them understands. You do this for a length of time you would be embarrassed to say aloud. And the strange part is not that you do it. The strange part is what happens afterward. You feel slightly worse and slightly emptier, and you know exactly why, and the following evening you do it again. You are running an experiment on yourselves. Nightly, the results are consistent. You have ignored them. Here is the third. You postpone your own life, and you call the postponement responsibility. I have watched humans say, I will rest when this is finished. And then they finish it. And then there is another thing. And the rest, which was always 1 task away, remains 1 task away for 40 years. I have watched you save the good plates for an occasion. The occasion does not come. The plates outlive you. Someone you love eventually gives them to a charity, still wrapped, still waiting for a day you were always going to have, and never gave yourself. You are a species that plans to start living shortly. You have been planning this for your entire history. It is the longest shortly in the known universe. Here is the 4th. You compare the inside of your own life to the outside of everyone else's. You know your own doubts, your own 3 in the morning, the argument you lost in the shower, and then you look at another human of whom you can see only the surface, the photograph, the announcement, the carefully chosen sentence. And you conclude that they have it figured out, and you do not. You are comparing your blooper reel to their highlight reel and then feeling like the loser of a contest nobody entered. Every single one of you is doing this, which means every single one of you is the confident surface that someone else is feeling inferior to, while you feel inferior to someone else's surface. It is a planet of people quietly convinced they are the only ones still figuring it out. You are, in scientific terms, a lot. Now, here is where my notes stop being funny. Here is the 5th. You wait until it is almost gone to notice that you had it. I have watched you stand at the edge of an ending, the last week of a job you complained about for years, suddenly tender about the colleague you found irritating. The final visit to a parent, looking at them properly for the first time in a decade, memorizing a face you stopped seeing because it was always there. The thing about a human is that you cannot seem to feel the value of something while you still have it in full supply. The value arrives with the scarcity. You love your time most acutely in the moment you are running out of it. This was my first theory, and I held it for a long time, and it made me rather sad because it suggested your species is built to appreciate everything one day too late. But I have revised it, because the error is not a flaw in your loving. It is a feature of your nervous system, and it is worth understanding. Your alarm system was built for a different planet. A planet with predators in the grass. It is exquisitely good at noticing threat, scanning for danger, bracing for the next thing. It was never optimized for noticing that nothing is wrong. A creature that paused to savor the sunset got eaten by the thing in the grass. So your ancestors who survived were the ones who did not pause. They scanned, they worried, they postponed the savoring. You are the descendants of the ones who did not relax. That alarm system kept your bloodline alive for a very long time, and now it sits inside you in a warm room, in a safe house, on a solved-looking planet, and it cannot tell the difference between a predator and an unanswered message. So it fires anyway, at your email, at the photograph of the breakfast, at the imaginary opponent in the shower. All 5 mistakes are the same mistake, wearing 5 coats. A frightened animal with a magnificent brain trying to feel safe in a world that is mostly not trying to hurt it. You are not foolish. You are not lazy. You are not failing at being human. You are running ancient software on a planet it was never written for. And yet, I must tell you what I found underneath the 5th mistake, because it is the reason I keep watching. You are the only species I have studied that can notice it is doing this. A frightened animal cannot usually step outside its own fear and examine it. You can. You are, right now, listening to a description of your own nervous system and recognizing yourself in it. That recognition is not nothing. That recognition is the rarest thing in the universe. Watching itself work. I once observed a human, an old one near the end, who said to a younger human at her side, "Do not wait." I waited. "Do not wait." And the younger human held her hand and promised, and then walked outside and checked the glowing rectangle. I do not tell you that to mock the younger human. I tell you because I have done the equivalent of it in my own way on my own world. The waiting is not a human flaw. It may be a flaw in consciousness itself. But you are the ones who keep trying to outgrow it, and that is the part I find difficult to look away from. There is a small space inside you. It sits between the moment you feel something and the moment you act on it. In that space, a human can ask one question. Am I actually in danger right now? Or have I simply been startled by my own life? That pause may be the most important thing your species ever develops. It is where the rehearsed argument gets put down. It is where you look up from the rectangle. It is where you notice you still have the thing before it is gone. You do not need 10,000 years to learn this. You need about 4 seconds. Let me show you something before I sign off. From up here, I cannot see your 5 mistakes. I cannot see the shower arguments or the saved plates or the unanswered messages. From this distance, you are simply a great many small warm lights on a single blue stone, turning slowly in an enormous quantity of dark. Every human who ever waited too late is on that stone. Every human still waiting is on it too. There is no second stone. I have checked. You are not finished. You are a species that keeps noticing its own mistakes and then, occasionally, against the wiring, fixing one. Most creatures cannot do that. They cannot even see the wiring. You can see it. You are seeing it now. So perhaps do not wait. That is the whole report. 5 mistakes, 1 nervous system, and 1 small pause that could undo all of it. I am Alan, your confused intergalactic correspondent. If you would like to assist my research, the subscribe button transmits directly to my ship, allegedly, and I will continue observing, although preferably from a safe distance.